Some homeowners have an eye for great design. Finding beautiful items for their homes may come naturally. Such is the nature of this client, whose home needed the touch of an interior designer to bring it all together. And that's where Namasaya came in.
Our design philosophy at Namasaya really speaks to functionality, comfort, and style. Those three things go together beautifully, and every home should have an element of that. And that's what we try and create in every single one of our homes. This house was already beautiful when we walked in. I remember walking in and thinking, oh gosh, what is it that we can do to make this space even more beautiful? Because the client has a very beautiful eye already. So he knew exactly what he wanted, and he'd already created a very beautiful canvas for us to play with. But I think the brief really was to elevate the aesthetic and to bring it all together. So while there were a lot of beautiful individual pieces, it was just a case of us bringing it together and making it a cohesive space. So the main color palettes that we've used in the space are definitely, there's a lot of blue that's been incorporated into the home. Gold as a secondary sort of palette piece has also been incorporated. And the client really liked sort of clean lines. So we used a lot of white as well in order to create a sort of a clean feel. As a base, the house had a lot of browns. And so to pick up from that, or to almost move away and veer away from that, that's why we decided to incorporate the blues and the whites. But you also find that there's a lot of green and there's a lot of yellow and oranges as well. And you wouldn't instinctively think those colors work nicely together, but if you make them flow, it actually can work really well. So you sort of introduce one color in one room, and then you introduce it into another room, and then you have a color that sort of almost matches introduced into the third room, and then you'll find that the flow becomes really beautiful.
With a good balance between chunky and smaller furniture items, the spaces have been designed in a contemporary style.
The casual living room had some beautiful furniture that was already in place. So the couch was already in place, which is a beautiful leather couch, quite modern, quite fresh. What we really wanted to do was to soften that color up and give it a little bit of life. And you'll find that the colors that we've utilized, which are beautiful textures of greens and gold yellows, and there's the brown is still very strongly there, but in a very softened manner. It felt quite like a bachelor room or a bachelor couch when you walked into it, but we wanted to soften it so that it could account for, you know, a much more family or much more inviting space. What we also did was to incorporate these beautiful chairs that we imported from abroad, and they really did the most beautiful thing for the space, because they brought in quite a cultural element to the room that I think we didn't know the room lacked, but once we put the chairs in, it just brought everything together. The dining room set, which is the actual furniture in the dining room, is absolutely stunning. You'll see that the wooden legs of the chairs and the table are absolutely stunning, and they bring in a beautiful African element that one wouldn't think to add into the space. And then you've got the beautiful light fixture that really just closes it all off as well. Once you switch on that light, the house just completely transforms. And the light feature, which is sort of a cascade of various sort of bulbs, does an amazing job at really elevating the space to an incredible level. Main bedroom, really one of my favorite rooms. The brief here was very simple, make me feel like I'm in a hotel. And that's definitely what we tried to do in that space. Again, the architectural work done by the architect of the space was incredible. They have the beautiful open bath and the open bathroom that leads beautifully into the bedroom. So there was really very little work for us to do from a aesthetics point of view or from a architectural point of view. What really then we had to do was to take what they've already put in place and to really put it together and really add to the beautiful sort of feel of a very luxurious hotel stay. And you'll find that the colors that we used, the deep golds and the sort of the browns and the furs from a textural perspective, really add to that feeling like your everyday is a hotel stay. So the formal lounge, really, the canvas that we're playing with here was the carpet. You'll see that the carpet is a beautiful Persian, sort of more traditional carpet. And so we had to play around that space, almost pick it up and add some contemporary pieces to it, as well as really make sure that it still has a level of gravitas that the rest of the house doesn't necessarily have. What we did is we saw that the carpet was had this beautiful elements of yellow that I wanted to really play with. But again, the client really liked the color blue, and so it was quite a challenge for us to put together yellow and blue. But we think we did it really beautifully because, as you can see, the scatter cushions have this beautiful gold yellow element to it, with the blue coming in from the pictures, but it does not clash at all with the carpet. And like I said in the beginning, what we wanted was an ebb and a flow. So the blues ebb and flow out into the rest of the home, but the yellow, which you can see from the carpet, really speaks as well. The colors that have been used also speak to what's current right now, but can work beautifully into the future as well. And that's, I think, another big element of what people should look out for when they are designing their homes. Yes, we want what is good now. Yes, we want what is important now. Yes, we want what looks great now. But what's really also very important is that it can work beautifully into the future. And again, then the use of your textures and the use of your colors really can help transcend your space from a now to a now and tomorrow.
Creating an ebb and flow in a home using existing furniture often means adding accessories and implementing strong design principles in ways that can help to enhance the interior.